All right. Hello, this is the My Artifact episode number 3539. Okay, today's date is 15th of August 2025. It's been almost like a night at 9:34 p.m. All right. We just directly jump into the question. All right, let's go. Okay, question is, uh, agree or disagree? You don't have a loan or debt to play. What exactly is this thing? Like, how do I supposed to agree? Is this okay? Yeah, like this is very confusing statement. Okay, yeah. Uh, you don't have loan or debt to play. You have loan or debt to play. You don't have loan or debt to play. Debt to pay. It's a kind of like a something is this thing that key okay means like that your current situation frequency regarding about that key, do you have a loan and or do you have any kind of like a debts so that you should supposed to be pay, or what exactly is this thing? Okay, yeah. Okay, let me little bit explain regarding about this particular question. Okay, yeah. Question is about agree or disagree. Okay, yeah. It is actually trying to know what is exactly your opinion regarding about loan. Okay, yeah. Means like that ki, are you willing to take loan? One thing. Are you usually take loan, or like do you like to take a loan? Okay, yeah. Or you never really take any loan. What is exactly you are in that particular category? What exactly is this thing? Okay, yeah. Loan, like, should I supposed to be kind of like explain? Okay, let me explain. Okay, loan means like that ki, if we wanted to get something, money, okay, we need a kind of like a some certain money. Okay, yeah. But at some certain time we don't really have money, so we actually borrow the money from someone. Okay, yeah. So that is called loan. Usually is this thing, when we borrow money from your people around you, it's not considered as a loan. It's a kind of like a something that a debt that you have to be paid. Okay, yeah. Loan is usually preferred when you borrow the money from bank or kind of like a things, that is called loan. Okay, yeah. So you have to pay the that particular loan as well as interest too. Okay, what is exactly interest? Okay, so interest means like that ki, if I take a loan of 10,000 rupees, sorry, okay, let's just say 1 lakh rupees. Okay, let's just say that I took a loan from bank of 1 lakh rupees. Okay, yeah. And I tell the bank that ki, I will gonna pay this loan after a 5 year. Okay, yeah. So what exactly is this thing? If I'm gonna pay this money after the 5 year, then how much should I supposed to be pay? I should supposed to be pay 1 lakh rupees plus 5 year of kind of like a something interest rate, which is actually kind of like include in kind of like a something 1 year. Okay, what exactly is this thing? Okay, yeah. So interest rate usually we have in India, probably we have, I'm not really sure, but somehow 4 to 5%. Okay, yeah. So let's just say, wait, okay, let me do the calculation so that I'm gonna explain you a little bit better. Where is my calculator? Okay, yeah. So converter, and there is a discount. Okay, yeah. So let's just say that ki 1 lakh rupees means like that ki एकक दशक शतक हजार, सॉरी, एकक दशक शतक शतक हजार दश हजार laksh. Okay, yeah. So there is a 1 lakh rupees. Okay, yeah. And if I'm gonna say that ki how much it is, let's just say 5% interest. Okay, yeah. So 5%. So how much is it was? It was almost like a maybe 5,000 rupees. Okay, yeah, 5,000 rupees. Okay, so 5,000 rupees per year. So if I'm kind of like a saying this thing after a 5 year, that means 5 into 5, that means 25,000. So if I took the loan today from bank, 1 lakh rupees, then after the 5 year, I have to be pay 1,25,000 rupees. I'm not really sure about my calculation, and probably it's a little bit fragile and things like that. But this is what it is. Okay, you have to pay kind of like a some amount with interest too. Okay, yeah. But when we borrow money from the people around you, we just kind of like a simply we just give the just money. Okay, like if I take the borrow the money from like my friend or things like that, then probably I have to give exactly same amount of money. But like your friend will not kind of like let you lend that particular money for 5 year. Okay, like he will not gonna say that he like I will gonna give you after the 5 year. He will gonna say no, like yeah, I can't wait that 5 year. Like I'm giving you 1 lakh rupees, you have to give me back after maybe couple of months, that's it. Okay, yeah. So what I'm trying to tell you, this is what kind of like something loan. Okay, yeah. Do you understand? Like sometimes I just kind of like over explain things like that, but this is what it is, loan. Okay, yeah. Now debt, it means like that if you have some sort of kind of like a something took the money from someone else and you have to give them money. Okay, yeah. So that is called you have some certain debt. Okay, and that you have to give the money. Okay, so I have to ask this question to myself that taking a loan or taking any kind of like a something, taking any kind of like let's just say borrowing money. If I say that I borrow money from someone else, like a person or bank or things like that, so is it good or is it not good? Well, it depends on purpose. Like basically why did you kind of like simply take that particular money? Why don't you why kind of like simply borrow that particular money? Because it's a very essential that reason. Okay, yeah. If you are kind of like a taking, like if you are kind of like a borrowing money, or if you are kind of like a taking the loan for kind of like a medical emergency and things like that, that is really valid. Okay, because in the medical emergency, this is what it is that we need some sort of money, because hospital bills are kind of like very expensive and we don't really have that much amount of money. So loan should supposed to be kind of like a cover up that. But there is also another option that why don't you take health cover? Okay, yeah, or health insurance. But still in India, health insurance is kind of like a very new term right now, but whatever. So if you are kind of like a taking loan for kind of like a for health and things like that, that is okay. Okay, yeah. If you are taking loan for your house, okay, yeah, that is also okay. Yeah, it's really essential factor. If you are taking loan for your car, is it okay? Well, it's like I don't know, it's not really okay. Yeah, probably is this thing. I think it's a kind of like a somebody is this thing. You should supposed to be take a loan for such a thing which is kind of like a somebody add some certain value in your life. A house can add value in your life. Like basically it can provide you shelter, which is really essential for living the life. Okay, yeah. Then basically is this thing health. Obviously is this thing that we should supposed to be kind of like a take a loan for our health, or kind of like a somebody for living the life and things like that. If we don't really have any life, then how do it's nothing. Yeah, so probably it's a almost very essential. So if you are taking loan for your house, or if you are kind of like a taking loan for your health, that is acceptable. Okay, yeah. If you are taking loan for business purposes, that is also acceptable too. Okay, yeah, that is really good. Okay, yeah. Because when you are taking the loan and you are kind of like add something like basically is this thing, you are taking loan for purpose which can add value in your life. Okay, that is called kind of like something really good loan. Okay, yeah. It can kind of like improve your skills and improve add values and stuff like that. Now let's just say I took the loan for buying new phone, like a iPhone. So is it? No, it's not. Okay, it's not really. Because let me tell you one thing na, ki phone is not a kind of like a something value. It will not gonna add something really value in your life. Another thing is that ki it's not asset. Okay, because as a house or as a kind of like a business, it's kind of like a something asset. Because of that ki, like if you're not using it, still you can earn money through it. Okay, you can rent house, or in a business purposes, it is also kind of like a something asset, because in the future you will gonna earn money from your business too. So basically is this thing, you are taking loan for kind of like a somebody for the asset, that is good. But if you are taking loan for liability, then probably this is not really good, because phone are kind of like a somebody liability. Car is kind of like a somebody liability. Huh. If you are kind of like a taking a loan for car, so that you could kind of like a somebody took a job in Ola or Uber, or kind of like a you are kind of like a decided to do a kind of like a driving and things like that, then this is car is considered to be an asset, because you are gonna using this car for kind of like a simply for earning money purposes. Okay, so in that particular situation, that car is asset. Okay, so you have to understand the purpose. Okay, yeah. Now basically is this thing, right now we are in living such a world where kind of like a something loan is, people are give it the loan very easily. Like basically you don't really require any kind of like a bank or things like that. You just kind of like a in the app you can take the loan, and within almost like a 10 minute you can get the loan for 1 lakh rupees, which is really not that much difficult. Okay, yeah. So basically is this thing, am I asking this question that ki, if I took the loan for asset, that is good, but if I take the loan for liability, means like that a mobile phone or kind of like a something, a car or things like that, that is called, it's not really good thing. Okay, yeah. Okay, so basically is this thing, this is what terminology. Okay, yeah. But most of the people are don't really understand that. Okay, yeah. And most of people are kind of like somebody taking loan for such a thing, which is something really that ki not good. Okay, yeah. Like basically is this thing, they are taking loan for kind of like a phone or kind of like a things or kind of like a things. Then why does people do that? Like why does they do that? It's because of that ki uh it's because of that ki like I don't know why, like I'm not really sure, but it's just like that ki like most of the in India, almost like a 70% of in India people are using iPhone in EMI. EMI means like that ki loan, means like EMI means like that ki you are actually paying some sort of amount of money with interest and things like that. Okay, yeah. So that is called EMI. Like yeah. So basically this is completely very wrong thing. Okay, yeah. So what is your mentality? Will you gonna take any kind of like a simply loan for any kind of like only purposes? Well, probably is this thing. Right now I'm kind of like a recording artifact this on this mobile phone. My mobile phone is a Poco X7 Pro. Okay, yeah, which cost almost like a 20,000 rupees. Okay, yeah. And basically is this thing that ki I don't really have that much amount of money. So probably what I did is that ki I have kind of like a something the previous phone, something like a Redmi 5 Pro. Okay, Redmi 5 Pro, maybe something like that. Okay, yeah. So this is the phone that I have, and basically is this thing, I want new phone because that phone was kind of like so much lagging and things like that. I wanted to take a photo, and basically from my old photo, from my old phone, I can't able to take that much proper photo. I really need a kind of like a assembly phone. I really need a kind of like assembly new phone. So that's why I kind of like assembly what is I exchange my phone. Okay, so I kind of like assembly went to Flipkart and I sell my older phone and kind of like a give some sort of amount of money, and then I got this new phone. Okay, yeah. So basically is this thing, I sell my older phone in almost like a 5,500 rupees, and then I kind of like a paid almost like a 12,000 rupees for this new phone. Like a 12 nahi, almost like a maybe yeah, I don't know, yeah, 12,000, yes, 12,000 rupees, yeah, 12,000 rupees I paid for this phone, new phone. Okay, yeah. So basically is this thing, I am kind of like a simply using this phone in EMI. Okay, yeah. so so basically is this thing, I took the loan, right? Yeah, I took the loan, yes. So basically as I mentioned that ki if you kind of like a taking the loan for asset, then that loan is kind of like a something really good. Is this kind of like a something that ki pay if you take the loan, like is this phone is your asset? Yeah, it's a very good asset, because not only I'm kind of like somebody taking good photos from this phone, but as well as it has a 5G network, like a 5G modem. So basically in 5G modem I have unlimited internet. Before that I have 4G phone, and because of the 4G modem my internet was really slow and things like that. Okay, yeah. But because of I have 5G phone, so I have very unlimited. Like basically is this thing na ki I have 4G phone na, so that's why my data is kind of like a very limited. Like basically I have almost like a 1.5 GB per day, and that's it. And I was kind of like always been really curious, and I was kind of like using my internet very wisely. But since I have this 5G phone, which is kind of like a really unlimited, so I just don't really worry about that thing, and I just upload and download anything what I want, and Yeah, so basically what I'm trying to tell you, this phone is kind of like added some sort of value in my life. It kind of like increased my productivity as well as kind of like a simply, yeah, increase my productivity and everything. Okay, yeah, so it is kind of like something being really asset for me, and for this asset I kind of like took the loan for 12,000 rupees, which is almost very negligible. Okay, yeah, regarding what other people took the loan for 50,000, 1 lakh rupees, as I compared 12,000 rupees of loan, which is like a, yeah, it's a kind of like something very negligible and things like that, so which is kind of like something really good thing for me. Okay, yeah, so what I'm trying to tell you is this thing: the taking loan is kind of like something really good thing or bad thing. Well, it depends on you, it depends on your personality, it depends on kind of like a simply how much that if you kind of like a take that particular loan, how much it kind of like a some add value in your life and things like that. Okay, yeah, but I'm gonna ask this question regarding about agree or disagree. Taking a loan, is it good? How much you agree or how much you disagree? Well, it depends on, as I mentioned, it depends on every possible thing. If you are kind of like a taking loan for asset, that is good. If you are taking loan for liability, then it is not good. Okay, but still most of people don't really understand the assets and liability, but they just kind of like a simply, I don't know. Okay, yeah, it's regarding about the financial advice. Okay, yeah, and basically is this thing that ki, it's a something that na ki probably most of the Gen Zs are kind of like a buying iPhone, which is kind of like a something a take, which is kind of like a something buying this phone through EMI, through loan and things like that, which is really not that good, but in somewhat something which is somewhat like a really essential for understanding. What do you mean by that? Like basically is this thing, if I'm gonna say that ki this is something really wrong, like you shouldn't supposed to be take a loan for liability and things like that. If I said this thing, how much other people will gonna affect? Nothing really at all. Like people don't really kind of like resonate with this thing, like until and unless they kind of like experience that how much it is bad. What do you mean by that? Like basically is this thing na ki right now I took the loan for 12,000 rupees for this phone, and every month I'm kind of like paying almost like maybe 2,000 rupees, 1,800 rupees, something. Okay, yeah. So basically is this thing na ki I am paying 2,000 rupees because of that ki my kind of like my loan amount is very less, 12,000 rupees, which is really not that big amount. But if you are kind of like taking loan for almost like a 50,000 rupees, then understand that ki 50,000 rupees and you have to kind of like repay that 50,000 rupees in within almost like a 12 months, then probably decide that maybe 50 into 12, like let's just say how much it is. Wait, uh 50 divided by 12, that means 4,000 rupees. Yeah, 4,200 rupees of loan. 4,000, 4,000, yeah, let's just say 4,000 rupees. Yeah, 4,000, 5,000 rupees they have to pay on EMI in every month for 12 months, which is kind of like a somebody just cripple their heart. It is really fucked up thing. Okay, yeah. So yeah, this is what it is. Okay, and another thing na ki after they buy that particular iPhone, it doesn't really add any kind of like some value in them, until unless you are kind of like somebody such a person who you are using your phone for really right purposes, like you are using that phone for gaming, like if your profession is kind of like somebody gamer and things like that, you are making YouTube videos regarding about gaming, then yeah, this might be kind of like in that particular situation that phone is your asset. If you are kind of like a filmmaker and you are taking photos, you are taking videos and things like that, in that particular situation that phone is your asset. But if you just kind of like buy this phone for kind of like a somebody logo, Apple logo, then probably it's a liability. So yeah. So regarding about my choice, what exactly is this thing? Do I should supposed to be take a loan or not loan? It depends on every possible way. Okay, yeah, sometimes it's essential, sometimes it's not. It depends on, yeah, purpose. Okay, all right, this is it. This then I should supposed to be end here right now. Like basically like after I ate my dinner now, I don't really have that much energy to record artifact. Okay, but I don't know, I just feel like that because last night I also feel the same thing and today I also feel the same thing. Whatever, this is it. And yeah, it is also actually happen is because of that ki right now I control my diet in very like basically is this thing na ki I kind of like stop eating chawal, like like early morning, like after when I ate my lunch, I haven't really ate my chawal, and right now, like during the dinner, I haven't really ate my chawal, just roti. Okay, 3 roti. So probably that's some kind of like a little bit something that key. But I don't really feel that key something like that key less energy. I don't know. Yeah, but I feel really good. Yes, yeah. This is it, and thank you.